Now, coming back to an interesting case, I say interesting because this case is always quoted. You see, this case is quite old, 87, but it's always quoted in almost all the judgments relating to performance issues that goes to court. Why is it so popular? Not because Mr. Tan, okay, or IE Project were such excellent companies in Malaysia. It's because of what the court had held in this case. If you see what the court says here, it says that an employer should be very slow to dismiss on the ground that the employee is found to be unsatisfactory in his performance or incapable of performing the work which he is employed to do, without first telling the employee of the respects in which he is failing to do his job. So, communicate, communicate, communicate. But how much communication is enough is one question. Second, well, you can spend all your evenings after work taking the employee to the pub downstairs, okay, and communicating to your glory, okay, or till cows come home, as we say. But if the employee chooses to later deny that any of this communication took place or that it was not a discussion about his underperformance, the employee could say, yeah, my boss used to buy me drinks after work every day. I belong to his sales team. I know he spent long hours with me. It's because he enjoyed my company. I'm very good at cracking jokes, you know. So he always laughs out when I tell him all these nice jokes. So that's why he was buying me free beer every day after work. So what about the fact that your employer was actually trying to coach you to do better? What? He never coached me. He just showed me photos on his iPhone, you know, and we check out all the new apps and together. Did he ever not talk about your sales figures? No, he didn't. In fact, he gave me the impression that he's really very satisfied with me. So communicate, communicate, communicate. But if employee chooses to deny, susah lah, right? So this is why the court, okay, says warn. Warn him of the possibility of the likelihood of dismissal on the ground of poor performance or underperformance, and don't just send warning letters, okay, just because you have already printed a lot of paper on your company's letterhead, okay? Every day, Monday one letter, Tuesday another letter, Wednesday one letter. You are laughing. I've seen them, you know. I've actually seen companies that issued 3 warning letters in one day. And then I said, why 3 letters? They said, oh, because these are 3 different issues, and we were told that you must warn every different problem, a separate letter. Say, wow, like that, okay? So employers can also be very, you know, creative in creating solutions, okay? Now, I'll tell you, okay, it's not just about warning the employee, which is essential. I will not downplay the importance of it, but are you giving the employee an opportunity to change for better? Which is the gist, okay, and essence of what Roy was speaking about this morning, isn't it? He was emphasizing, okay, we want to go in with the mindset that we want to help the employee, pull up the employee, make him a better employee, and so on. So are you giving, the court also looks at your intention, you know. I mean, the judge looks a bit lembek sometimes, but that doesn't mean he's stupid, all right? So the fact is the court must remember, when you go into a court, okay, you must remember the judge or the lady, okay, the chair lady or chairman who sits to hear your case has been there, heard similar cases, seen employers like you, seen employees, okay. They have heard the same stories, rehashed many different scripts. So they know when you come in, they look at the papers, they already have formed an idea. So they want to know, did you give the employee opportunity to improve, change for better? It is for the employer also, the other aspect, it is for the employer to find out from the employee, why is he performing unsatisfactorily? And to warn him that if he persists in doing so, he may have to go. So it's important that you not only communicate, give warnings, give sufficient time to improve, you also have to find out why the employee could not perform. Because sometimes the problem may not be the employee. Oftentimes, the problem may be the employee's superior's way of handling the employee or the actual task that's being assigned to the employee. There could be many gaps. So an honest employer will have to evaluate himself or herself to begin with to see, am I doing things right? And if you are doing things right and your intentions are good and you still have an underperformer, we move to the next slide. The same case, the court says this. It goes on to say, actually the court spoke a lot in this case, I think. An employer owes his employee the duty to be scrupulous in following the fair procedure. So this is where the procedure starts coming in. Were you fair in your procedure? And what amounts to fair procedure? Words like fairness is very commonly used, sometimes misunderstood. Okay? Fairness depends on your organization size, the task the employee is asked to do, your procedures, do you even have policies to handle such problems, and are you one of those employers who keep changing goalposts halfway through the game? Okay? And if you do have to shift the goalposts, you must have good reasons for doing so, right? It's not because you are so hard, okay, or so made up in your mind that you want to get rid of the employee. So if the employee, you give him task A, he does it, then you change the goalpost to task B, he does it again, task B, task C, and it goes on like that. Okay? So there is where the tug of war, the Tariq Tali story comes in. Okay? And the court says that if having done all that may reasonably be expected of the employer, an employer is nevertheless constrained to terminate the service of a non-performing employee who persists in failing to render satisfactory service. It will not be the office of the industrial court to interfere with such decision. So what's the court saying in plain language? Okay, in plain English, the court says, if you know that you have done your best, you have followed fair procedure, you have been reasonable, you did not change the goalposts, your intentions were good, we can see your intentions, and yet if this person doesn't pull up the socks, then you do what you need to do, make sure you follow procedure, then we will not come and kacau you. That's what basically the court is saying in this case. Okay?